Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Fazoon. Just call me Chris, and welcome to Old Gray Bricks. We're glad you're here. It's a beautiful day down here in Georgia, and we have some folks. We actually are international today. We have some guests here today. Joining us in the chat are Nathan and Meredith and Mark and Matthew. Our new guest is Nathan. And what we're going to do is go around the room and just tell us what you're doing, who you are, and what you're geeking on. Let's start with Mark. Let's start with Mark so he can get going here. Here we go.
I just sat down in my Lego room for the first time in a few days, and I found things my son has been doing, so I'll pick that up because he built robots on a base plate and some lasers and stuff. Because I can't show you what I've been working on until we talk about our crappy Lego part builds. Get to that.
All right, good deal. Let me switch over to the room. Welcome to the chat, Winterbrookers. Good to see you as always. Neil from the club is here. Ryan is here. Ryan. Of ours. What's up, man?
Nice.
Good to see you. And we'll try to introduce everybody else. All right, Matthew, what you got going on?
So about 2 years ago, I purchased the Evco brothers who designed this very tall alien, and I'm a big fan of the Alien franchise. I probably watch all the movies probably at least once a year, and it took quite a while to collect all the parts, but I finally got all the parts, and I've been going at it pretty steady. So this is probably, I'm going to tilt it. There's a base that the statue rests on. And so it uses a lot of these angular parts to give an angle to the front of it. And then it has ballpoint knees and ball hinge at the waist. And eventually it'll have arms. The arms are not in there yet. It'll have a tail, but probably about 70% of the way through. Nice rib cage with the pieces there. And one of the things that I like is that it has this dripping translucent saliva, and I don't know if you can see it, but kind of right there in the middle, there's actually an air bubble in that trans-clear antenna that's hanging upside down. So it actually makes it look a little bit more like it's dripping a liquid instead of being, plastic, which of course it is. The only issue that I have is that up until like 10 minutes ago, the left hip kept popping out and it kept falling over. So I don't know. There's some kind of miracle that's happened, and I'm pleased. I was beginning to think I was going to need to super glue it, which I've never done any Lego build in my life. So we'll see if I snap the arms on, if it'll remain standing in the tail. But it's a cool model. I just hope it'll remain upright. So that's my big project lately.
While we don't want to see it crash, it would be quite entertaining for the internet to all of a sudden see that thing. Real quick, and we might circle back to it. The long antenna that you got with the drip, is that clear?
So this one is light gray, and the shorter one is trans clear.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
That's a gray. That's a trans clear. I don't think they make this in trans clear.
That's why I was wondering, because I'm like, dude, that's cool. But it's not. So, all right. Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Meredith, what you got going on?
Not much, just cleaning up my child's wonderful hodgepodge of minifigs.
Pregnant Miss Kerbopolis.
Yes, and then I really don't know what's going on with this.
What torso is that?
I think like an old night switch.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a Jolly Green Giant.
Yep.
It's the first one you held up as a reminder that not all of us look good in those midriff outfits that those young people wear. Yeah.
Think carefully.
Well, as I'm getting older, I'm making midriff outfits all the time. But anyway.
And then we got a lot of dots that I'm trying to clean up that she left everywhere from me.
Awesome. All right. And maybe we'll do a more formal introduction a little bit later in the show, but we have a new guest today. Nathan Proudlove, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. It's good to be here.
Tell us what you're geeking to.
Well, so I've been building little bits here and there. I built See if I can show you these little guys. Built a couple little robots. Yep. Get this
Oh,
little micro guys. They're not seeing the focus very well.
I like it.
Little two-legged. I got a little yellow one here too.
sweet.
Kind of looks like a little bulldog. I like him.
Cute. I like the yellow one.
Yeah, with the little arms hanging in front there. So I'm building some micro stuff. That was for Andrew's over on Bricks and Beer. He did the 9-brick mech contest on Instagram, and so I built those for that. Yeah, other than that,
the 9-brick mech, was that means it was 9 brick tall? Was the height? What was the deal on that? I never looked into it as much as I should have.
that's right. It's supposed to be 9 bricks tall. You get the little. So this was my measuring stick for the 9-brick mech.
Cool.
Is that 9? That's 8. Oh well.
Well, you treated yourself.
I came in right way under budget.
That's good.
Yeah. So and then other than Lego, I mean, because I work in video games, I play a lot of video games too. So lots of space stuff, No Man's Sky and Destiny and that sort of stuff. So
Cool.
Question on your robots. Do you see them coming from any particular sci-fi fantasy universe, or is it just raw inspiration?
I mean, they are heavily inspired by Simon Stollenhag, an artist that I've been following for a while now. And he has a show now, Tales from the Loop, on I don't remember which, it's at Amazon or Netflix or something. And his stuff is all kind of retro sci-fi 70s kind of Eastern Bloc themed stuff. It's really, really cool. Very, very neat. Very, very cool art.
Cool. So what was his name again?
Simon Stollenhag. I'm probably butchering the name because it's like I'm not sure what it is. It's got the 2 little dots and everything. I don't know how to say it.
That sounds like Swedish or Scandinavian.
It's Scandinavian of some kind. Yeah. So
Awesome. All right, good deal. All right, so we'll talk about Nathan. Nathan is an old space builder. He kind of came on the scene with Lego and Lego Space. He's a great space builder. About the time 2003, 2004, just as a lot of spacers were leaving Lugnet and going to ClassicSpace.com, and
That's
Flickr was becoming a big deal for us to be able to share. And then jumped right in, just wowing us with builds that he's done and has done, and he's going to show some in a little bit. I thought of him, by the way, because we pretty much butchered Chima last week, and then I remembered he worked on the Chima game, and so number one, I'm like, hey, dude, I'm sorry, we trashed what used to be your livelihood. He's like, yeah, we'll talk about that a little later, but. But the thing I remembered is when I was very ill, lost my hair, chemo, you guys sent me a Chima hat, me and my son, from TT Games and everything, and that was really cool, even though it was Chima and I didn't wear it as much as I should have. Anyway, so
it's all good. It's all good.
Anyway, so last week we shared the worst molded plastic that Lego has ever put out. So so we're going to share the challenge from my son was to build something in with those parts. Nathan has also actually done one because he picked his least favorite. So Meredith, let's start with you. Tell us what your piece was and what you've done with it.
Well, I had the Life on Mars purple or sand purple arch, and I was thinking wedding arch, and then I was thinking Stargate. So then I said, we can do both. So we have a wedding Stargate officiated by Benny.
All right.
Give me a second. I downloaded a photo here.
Oh, you're going fancy on us. I got it.
Yeah. My child was amused by The Simpsons, so I got to take a picture. One sec. Sorry, gang.
You're all good.
All right, let me get that to you. Can you see it now, or do I need to share?
Share screen at the bottom there. Are you sharing screen?
Yep. Oh, application window. I feel like a horrible person. There we go. There it is. I was trying to get a little backlight on the Stargate.
There it is.
Don't know any story behind it other than there's some nuptials going on. Benny and his pal stargated into wherever they are to officiate and witness.
That's awesome. And hey, that's the Blacktron guy from Space Police 3, the little Blacktron reference.
Yes.
Area in there. That's awesome.
The orange guy with the fish head. He's a Space Police person, I believe.
Yeah, he's one of the bad guys in that set. I actually like that guy. Awesome. So you've got the arch back behind. You basically just hit it. I don't want this thing anymore.
Yeah.
Cover it up.
But hey, it's an arch. I made it into a wedding arch and a Stargate.
I like it. I like it a lot. I have to ask: are the cool purple flower things? Is that for the photographer, or is that just a thing growing on the planet?
The Friends umbrellas.
Yes.
Yeah, they're just the natural fauna of whatever dimension / planet they're currently enjoying.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love how the hair, using the hair pieces for plants and everything. So that's awesome.
I had to wrangle those pink ones from my child's friends collection.
By the way, we were missing your child on the chat tonight. Where is your child?
She's upstairs. She had a busy day and is a bit crank, so she's engaging in some screen time.
I got you. All right. Anybody questions, comments on the build?
Looks good. Looks like No Man's Sky.
I like the plant using the hair pieces. It looks like a Dr. Seuss thing to me.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid going too Loraxy, and I was worried it was getting a little Loraxy, but
It has a Seussian vibe.
Trying to look familiar, but not too familiar.
That would be cool if Dr. Seuss had made like a space series. That would have been awesome. But all right, good deal. All right, good deal. So let's go to Mark. Mark, what you got? Let's see what you got. Show us the crappy piece you used.
Okay. I took the lovely Throwbot arms.
All three of them?
Just used two. You can see the Throwbot arms. They've been woven into a space speeder. Space. I also decided while I was using big chunky pieces such as these are connected, by the way. Even though I had to build most of the mock around them, they are connected via a ball joint inside the side of it there. But I also decided I'll use some of those big Technic spuds too, because why not use more big chunky pieces? So they're all woven in there. Little spacey, speedery thing, space guy. And as a bonus, it's got authentic Get-in style landing gear.
Woo! Crashing gear.
With little feet.
Nice.
So it can land on its little feet just like that.
Hey, I put 3 landing gear in. Thank you very much.
Is it 9 stud tall? Because technically, could that be a 9 stud tall mech?
I'd have to get a stack of bricks, but it might come in under the limit. It's not super tall. I'll measure it while you guys talk about someone else's build.
All right.
There they are, the Throwbot arms.
Robot arms. All right. Talk about it. How did he do?
It's good, man. The texture is very spacey.
Yeah, that's the one saving grace of those things is they look like sort of mechanically machinery whatevers, and it made them work pretty well as an engine kind of looking component.
By the way, it is her tradition. If you don't know, Mark always makes fun of my landing gear because they're thin or small or whatever. But I'm going to make fun of Mark Sandlin landing gear because apparently he only usually uses 2. This is something you left at the last thing we did. So at least there's 3 of my gear to your 2 landing gear that you put on things. So just saying. Just going to drop that shade right there, man.
Criticism is usually that it's 3 landing gear made out of these little clicky things on a large spaceship. That's where that's where I start poking fun at Chris because You touch the spaceship and it goes and flat bellies on the ground. So
Yeah, but when you see those big jet airliners, they have like castle-sized landing gear under them. I understand, no problem at all. That's real. The space shuttle, the big trees came up from under that. All real. That's all good, man. All right, all right, Matthew. Let's see what you got, man.
Well, I was very busy with this guy here. So,
Did you fail us?
so this is what I have. This is my my red Intrepid Explorer, and he's found this stone relic. So this is as far as I got. It's not very polished at this point.
Hey, you can at least put like a pirate on it or like a palm tree or something.
Oh. I would say at least you tried, but you didn't try. So,
but look at this! Look at this! I mean, come on, it takes time to construct a xenomorph. You can't do this instantaneously.
Yeah. His leg was falling off until about 3 minutes ago. So what are you talking about?
Right. There was all the off-camera me being super aggravated that you guys got to miss out on. So
we'll have that in the after show. Then that'll be good. And the blooper
deleted
reel.
scenes.
So here's the answer to the question.
Ooh.
I don't know.
This is 8 bricks.
Oh, that's 8? Oh, yeah.
So it does 9. If I put the 9th brick on top, I definitely.
There you go.
Here's the 9th brick. There it is. Hooray!
Yay!
It's a 9 brick mech. Oh boy.
Yeah, you see, Matthew, that's even he put 9 bricks together just then. You have basically put
But I want to point out that I am spaced today.
You are spaced today.
Good job.
Yeah, at least you tried. So
I'm representing space.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. We'll welcome some more folks to the chat that I hadn't made mention of. Seth Bland, welcome to the chat. It's a guy I knew all the way from my hometown in the big town of Warrenton, Georgia, population 2,050. I remember when we got the traffic light. So we're glad you're here. Bama Bricks, glad you're here. Titanium J, glad you're here. And everybody else. Dude Jude, good to see you here. So glad you guys are here.
That's a buddy of mine, Simon Tartar, is in the chat there too.
Oh, I missed it. Simon Tartar. How are you? Good deal. Awesome. Welcome. All right. I'll show mine. I'll give Nathan the honors of the last one. So I had the handle from the snowboard set, and so I turned it into a speeder. So it's like a desert speeder. My lighting's terrible. I'm sorry, guys. Desert speeder. With some engines in the back here. I use 2 of them because I have 2 of them. A little intake there in the middle, and it's actually made for 2 to drive, but I only made 1. So I tried about as good as Matthew on the figs in it, and so it's like a desert speeder. I did not use the turning action in the front because it's impossible to control. So I like that in. And this stuff in the back actually is just kind of floating on there, but it kind of locks in. So there it is. Speeder. Woo.
Nice.
All right. There we go. Nathan, what you got, man? Let's see it.
All right. So I was inspired by Mark's mention of these guys here, the hockey player, the weird Bionicle hockey player bits. And I kind of went a little crazy and had a lot of fun with this one. So this is my very, very classic space with the things in the. You can see them there, holding the engines on.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I had a lot of fun with the Giddens. Yeah, again with the little feet.
Giddens gear. Woo!
Yeah. It does. The front one is especially wobbly. If you touch it or breathe on it a little too hard, it just collapses. But
Yeah.
That's authentic function.
That's right.
The guy in there. So.
Is the gun on the front? Is it asymmetric? A little asymmetric?
Yeah. It's
sweet.
Got a little light and a little antenna gun thing. I don't know.
Love it. Love it, love it. Comments on our guest mock.
You each did better than me.
So that is the whole front of the fuselage, like the whole front of the ship, just studs on the side, or just brick built kind of studs on the side.
So the whole thing, except for like the canopy bit, is basically built vertically from this way up.
That's cool. I like that.
So you get that studless kind of look to it.
Smooth, yes.
Yeah, nice and smooth.
Snot.
It's not, yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, welcome to the chat, Kittenville Brick. Welcome. Good to have y'all here. Oh,
this is the studs forward thing on a large scale.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I incorporate that sort of thing into a lot of my builds.
Yeah, this is something I had to support with a bunch of Technic through the middle, which you can sort of see.
Yeah.
Technic beams kind of in the center there, although it holds together better than I would have expected. So,
Is that also brick built, brick bent as well? It looks like a slight curve. I don't know if it's just the way that you're angling it.
it's the weight of the bricks give it a really slight curve down the length of the
Gravity.
Yeah, they are curved just a smidge.
oh, let me add just a friend to the chat. Welcome, welcome. All the way from the great state of Florida. Welcome, Bricksmith. How you doing, man? You're
mic
muted, dude.
Muted.
Oh, I know. I'm a mess in here. It's whole houses, but I did the woo on purpose. Muted. But hey, everybody, how's it going?
Hey,
Glad to see you, Chris. Thanks for the invite.
You bet, you bet, you bet. We needed somebody to fill the last spot, so you were the last choice. But anyway.
Thank you. Anytime.
Anyway, so we've just reviewed all of our really terrible piece mocks and everything. So, and Julian has been actually had a big bucket of bulk sort that he got. He's been pulling some space out of it and some old school stuff.
It's
And-
over there.
That's okay. Don't get it. It's okay.
I just found out that I had a set. I lost my phone. 6, 8. What's the number on that, honey?
I have no idea.
6, 8, something. I don't know. You got my phone?
No.
Oh crap.
You narrowed that down for us. We appreciate it, man. That's great.
Yeah, you guys know it's space, right? Okay. All right, hang on.
Because I have to do everything.
Yeah, she
Thank
does.
you.
6, 8, 8, 2. Apparently, there's supposed to be 2 in this bulk. I didn't see 2.
No, go to
6882.
Yeah. I'm pulling it up on the Bricklink.
Oh, the walking Astro Grappler. I love that one, man.
Oh, bad.
Yeah. But I had the trans yellow and blue windscreens, and I was like, I wonder what that could go to. So
Oh,
Brittany found it, and so it's so exciting.
I actually remember buying that one with a friend of mine. His name's Scotty, and we rode to Kmart in the back of his mom's yellow Toyota, and bought that set while I was there, and was messing around with it in the back of the Toyota. I didn't lose any parts.
Nice.
But we were unbuckled and sliding around in the back of a Toyota, and it was just like the Pizza Planet Toyota too. So that was super awesome.
I saw
All right.
you were in Georgia, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there you go. I don't remember riding in the front of a pickup truck in my youth in Florida. No.
Well, my dad had an El Camino, so I could get on, like stand up on my knees and reach over the top and
Amazing.
Superman in the back of a carpeted El Camino back in 1984. So
Classy.
yeah, classy. So all right, so let's focus on our guest, Nathan. We're glad you joined us. Tell us a little bit about your Lego history, how you got into the brick, and what you've done. And we won't giggle when you mention Chima. So
It's okay. I don't mind. As you mentioned earlier, it was around 2003 that I started getting into kind of the online community and getting involved there. as is the story with a lot of fans, I got back into Lego as kind of a collector with the Star Wars stuff in 1999, but definitely for a couple of years was more of a collector, and then went to Brickfest PDX in 2004 after engaging a little bit in the Lugnet community and whatnot, and that kind of I think it was coming back from that. I took apart my entire Lego Star Wars collection. I was like, that's it. It's all going into my own stuff, and started building stuff there. And I've moved a lot. So I've been part of a lot of different communities, from Vancouver Lego Club. And then I was involved in kind of Sea-Lug stuff because I lived close to that for a while. And BrickCon has been, I've been to many, many BrickCons. Miss those guys. Shout out to all my West Coast crew. I miss you all terribly. And exactly. And and then now the Lego is actually what got me my career as an artist in video games now. Because when Warner Brothers Montreal was teamed up with with TT a little bit. And I never worked directly with TT Games, but they were part of kind of the whole community of, yay. Yep. Yeah, that was a great con. But yeah, that they were looking for a Canadian builder specifically because they were starting a new project at a studio here in Canada. And I was, I had been involved in Lego Universe, and so I had a little bit of video game knowledge in that. And the Lego Universe, what were they called? Partners, the LUP program and whatnot. And I did that for a couple of years. Made the Chima, Lego Legends of Chima online. Hello. Nice. And we did that for a couple of years. So, I don't even know. How many of you have even heard of Lego Legends of Chima online? Do you know that game?
Yep, I did. I think I beta tested it. I think you actually sent it to me to beta test, or
Probably.
sent me an invite.
Yeah. So there was the Chima Speedors game. It was a mobile game that came out at the same time. And they had a Laval's Journey Nintendo DS. I think it was on a couple other consoles as well. So our game was kind of an online PC focused version, like game as part of a trilogy. And it was kind of a Diablo / Torchlight for kids, very similar to what Minecraft is doing right now with their what's the new, I don't remember what it's called, but and it was a really great game. But when none of my Lego friends had ever heard of it after it was out for several months, I was like, there's a marketing problem here. So it kind of fizzled and died because nobody ever heard of it.
All right, hey, let's time out. Since we've already ripped Chima apart, let's go ahead and do it some more because it's fun. Tell me, because it's one of those things where Chima was supposed to be the big new thing that took over for Ninjago, which is still a thing because kids get it.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, what was the fail with Chima?
Okay, so I suppose the NDA is past a statute of limitations. I can probably.
Whoa, let's get down.
Yeah, here we go. All of a sudden, Kevin Hinkle went, "What?"
Yeah, I know. I don't work for Warner Brothers anymore. I don't work for Lego anymore, and I'm not going to burn any bridges. But I really think that part of the problem was it was purely a marketing problem in my mind. They said that they were targeting a certain age group, but they wanted 9-10-year-old boys. That was what they wanted. They wanted to sell this stuff to 9 and 10-year-old boys. But with the TV show and the themes and some of that stuff, it was clearly themed towards younger audiences, and so 9 and 10-year-old boys wanted nothing to do with it. When the farting skunk jokes were in the TV show, it was just like, oh boy. It was, what 9 and 10-year-old boys want to watch is something that they think 13 and 14-year-old boys want to watch.
Right.
So if they had, and that's why I think Ninjago has done such a good job, is it's a little edgier, a little darker, a little more grown up. And so the younger audience really is like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is what older kids, yeah, there was a TV show. Don't look it up. It's terrible.
I have a Chima question.
Okay.
So my daughter has made me watch Ninjago all seasons twice now.
Okay.
All. And I don't remember which season, but there's like a brief, like 2-minute crossover with Chima.
Serious? I have no idea about that.
Like they're jumping dimensions and having a fight. And my daughter's like,
wow,
what the heck is that? Why are those that lion guy there and stuff? Was there? I guess there was some sort of intention of having some grand crossover, like Marvel MCU type thing.
Wow, I have no knowledge of that.
No knowledge.
That's surprising.
It's one of the ends of the seasons it does that.
Okay.
I'm blocking it out because my daughter's made me watch it twice.
Yeah. Titanium J, Signal and Titanium J. He's the Ninjago expert. But I will say, my son watches. He doesn't watch as much, but he watched Ninjago religiously, and he noticed. He's like, Dad, 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 Dad. It was a big deal because Chima wasn't exactly as bad for him being his age as it was for me going, what? And so he go, oh, wait. We have the master here. It was Cursed World Part 2.
Wow.
That they had that scene in. So there you go. The expert there, which, as somebody in Marvel Universe, yeah, that's cool. But it also is like, I don't bring in Chima and all that kind of stuff. All right, hang on. Just take 2 seconds. Let me welcome some more folks to Gil. Welcome to the chat. I also know my people who actually know him in person as Greg Shaw, but he's Gil Shaw to us. Sam McKee, welcome.
That's another friend of mine. Hey, Sam.
Great. MJ Bricks, we're glad you're here. And
Rob.
and we're glad that, Brom,
what the heck? Yeah, nice.
Whoop, there you go. Brom, do you have your secret villain lair that you're taking over the world and all that kind of stuff? Because we always thought Brom was smart enough that he could actually be a super villain one day, and everything. Brom's one of the smartest people I have ever met. And I'm sorry about that, Brom, but dude, it's great to hear from you, man. I'm glad you're in the chat, man. All right, so you worked on Chima. You saw that game. How was it when it kind of faded? Was that kind of a bummer thing, or was it just one of those things you're working on and move on?
No, it was a pretty stressful time when I moved out to work on Chima, I was the Lego builder. I wasn't doing anything else in the industry at that time. I was a church janitor before that, and so it was kind of a crazy dream job to go work on as a professional Lego builder in a video game company. That was really cool. But they couldn't offer me a permanent full time. So they gave me a 1-year contract. And so when I discussed it with my family, we decided that I would go and live out here on my own and they would stay back in Saskatchewan. So I lived apart from my family for a year. And then they re-upped for another year without giving me a permanent again. So we did it one more time. And I said, okay, but it's at the end of this, you either give me permanent or I go back to Saskatchewan. Like I can't keep living apart from my family. So I lived away from my wife and son for 2 years. And so what happened near the end of that time, they offered me permanent. And so we made all the arrangements. We sold our house and made arrangements for Kathy to move out here. We bought a house and everything. And it was only a few weeks after that they announced Chima was shutting down. And I didn't have tons of other skills to offer a video game company. So I was panicking that I was going to, they were just going to let me go. They were going to lay me off and we were going to be stuck in Montreal with no work. And,
Wow.
but they kept me on and they trained me in 3D modeling and texturing and that sort of stuff. So I ended up. They liked just my work ethic in general and my team playerness, that stuff. They liked the way that I worked, and so they kept me on board and trained me in the ways of video game development.
Your abilities of teamwork and not bickering. Anyways.
yeah, I just like my passion, I guess. And at one point we were working at the beginning of the project. We had a concept artist on Chima who would, she'd actually sketch out new concepts for buildings and vehicles and whatnot that I would then try and replicate in the brick. But I was too fast for her, so she would still do some concepts, but the creative director and stuff would come up to me after or before she was done this concept and be like, well, we have this other thing that we need. Do you think you could just build it from scratch without a concept? I'm like, sure, why not? And so I started doing that, and it was only a couple of those before I feel kind of bad. My friend, this concept artist, ended up getting moved on to another project because I was so much faster at prototyping concepts and getting, because I know the brick, right? I know exactly what it's capable of. I know the best shapes and stuff to capitalize on the themes. I can show you. I forgot that I had a couple of my builds that I did in the studio for Chima on my shelf over here. So in a minute, I'll go grab a couple of those and I can show you guys.
Okay, I'll give you the big screen when you do and everything. So you then moved on from Chima. Did you get any other really good swag? Did Lego give you a bunch of stuff, or did you get the raw end of that deal?
No, I mean, when they sent out a bunch of prototype kits and stuff like that, I kind of they made their way to my house when when the project got shut down. I mean, it's all legit. I helped them organize all the Lego and stuff that they had bought for the studio, and which we donated to. Once the project shut down, we didn't really have as much need for the Lego, so we split it all up and donated it to local, women's shelters and family shelters and daycares in the neighborhood. So that was a really cool thing. But in that process, I would ask them if I could keep some of the stuff from Chima, and they were like, yeah, of course. And so I got some of the prototype sets that have, they're so prototype they don't even have the pieces in the right color. I've painted pieces and stuff like that. So
actually, you felt bad for the people in those really terrible situations. You don't want to make it worse by giving them Chima. We understand that was your process of thinking there, and I think you're a good person for that. So
I don't want to inflict the bond.
In 10 years, will Chima be the new Galador?
If people even remember it, maybe.
I think it's right up there in my book and everything, because I mean, at least Galador was like fake pieces almost. I mean, Chima was made with real pieces, and it was, fake. If there's a Chima designer, I am not busting. There was a couple of sets that were really cool.
Oh yeah, that eagle jet from the first series, I think was amazing. I loved it. And the gorilla mech, I really liked that. That was who's Mark
Stafford?
Stafford. That was a Stafford model, and yeah, it really showed. The thing was beautiful.
Yeah, you can kind of tell what he had his hands on because it was really good stuff. But yeah, in fact, if you ask Jake what his favorite two things from Chima was, it's that jet, and mine too. In fact, it's one of my favorite Lego sets, just because it's really cool, and that the gorilla mech, because it came with all the new pieces, and it was really, really, really well done. So
I was an employee at a Lego retail store, and I built the mammoth set, which I actually like that.
I like that one a lot too.
I thought it was creative. I like the look of it. The other thing I'll say is I think the minifigs had really good detail and artwork. I mean, I think those people who've heard me before, I joke that I used the mask for furry convention.
Yeah.
But the masks were actually, the artwork was really good. I felt sort of bad because for whoever did the design, because I thought it was quite good in the way that they would have crocodiles and different bird species and things like that. So that's the thing that always stood out to me about the Chima, where I thought the faces and the bodies were well done.
Yeah, the legs were really printed, like with lots of detail. Like the feet had little claws printed on the top of the feet.
Yeah, and that kind of opened the door for Lego to really start pushing that.
Well, that does not like to.
Yeah, just hold your hand behind it flat. There you go. Get up to the screen where your hand's the whole background.
Yeah, there you go. It doesn't like.
Is that Eris? Yeah, that's Eris, I believe.
I don't know. I think I just found a mix of eagle parts for that one.
Well, to me, the figs were great, but and that was the era when Jake would just take figs and start to rebuild them.
Yeah.
And there was so little variation in like this eagle, this eagle, this eagle lady, this eagle, that it was so hard to put them back together. Then I was like, just put them in a bucket. It was really difficult.
There is a YouTuber out there who is a super fan. His name is Buttshop 2021. He actually made Chima Day last year and started and it was acting like it was Christmas. Just building sets. Any Chima he can get his hands on, he makes him happy.
Well, good for coming. Hey, I love Buttshop. He's a cool guy, but he would get it. I get it. Hey, Buttshop, I'm glad he likes it and everything. And there were kids who liked it. The funny part to me is, and we talked about it last week, was that Lego sunk a bunch of money into Legoland Florida for a Chima ride, and it opened and the sets went off the shelves like that month or something like that. Yeah. So, in fact, Ryan Wood, who's in the chat, model maker for there, he probably remembers that and everything. The Chima Land was really cool, and now it's turned into the Lego Movie Land, and it's really, really great. I mean, there's a Benny spaceship you can climb in. That's golden for me. So, all right, Nathan, did you go get us something to show?
Yeah. So this here is the little lion quad thing. You would shoot darts out you pull this thing back and it would shoot tiles out the front. And you can't probably see it in the camera the way that it is, but some of these pieces are painted that yellow, that orangey yellow that they came out with for Chima. So yeah, this is pretty cool set for me to hang on to as a memento, I guess, a prototype set from that line. It was pretty fun. This is we had a base building kind of aspect to our game, and where you build like an arm. So this was the blacksmith tent, and there would be 5 different levels that you would start from a really basic small tent with a little anvil, and it would get up to this, which was the kind of level 5 blacksmith lion tent. And so that's one of the things that I ended up actually designing for the game and ended up in the game. So
that's awesome.
That is great.
Yeah, it was fun. They ended up like animating this and the little hammers and stuff. And I think there was a bit more of a furnace thing back here. But yeah, it was a really fun job. It was fun to design things, and it was good.
Can I ask a disappointing question? Do you think any kid actually played it to the level to get to level 5 to be able to build that tent and see it?
Oh, for sure. That you know what? There were not nearly enough, but there were definitely some dedicated fans of the game that played all the way through to the end and got all the upgrades. And I designed and built 250 unique weapons for the characters in that game out of Lego.
Cool. Hey, Brian, stop smooching on your wife, man. A little. We need a little space in between y'all. Okay.
Okay. Social distancing.
That's right. Social distance first. Thank you very much. Yeah. Get a room. All right. Hey, I can kick you to the green room if you need to. Get a good smooch there. The cool dude 87. Okay, welcome to the chat here. All right, so Chima is done with you and everything like that. You're still active building at that time, yes, or are you apart from your bricks?
I had my Lego with me. I had my priorities straight. I brought all my Lego out to Montreal with me. I had a tiny bachelor suite in a garage that you access from a sketchy alley, and I had all my Lego in there with me. So
No. Go ahead and admit it. You didn't. What was your son? Probably about 2 or 3 at the time.
he turned 5 just as I moved out. I think 5 or 6.
Yeah. You didn't want him in your Lego. Just go ahead and say it. You didn't want the kiddo in your Lego, and you took it with you. It's okay. You can admit all that.
That's right. Yeah, I know.
All right. So you had your Lego with you, and you were continuing to build and everything. And then, what was your next step in the video game, and maybe some games that we actually know about?
So I haven't actually worked on anything that I can talk about because I've yeah, except for Chima, because once that was canceled, I went to work on an unannounced project at WB there in Montreal, and then I got an opportunity to go work at Ubisoft on another unannounced project, and and then I'm working on. Actually, I am working on a project that I can say. It's that's what the logo on the hat is. It's Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Oh,
it's a Rainbow Six spinoff.
Okay,
Rainbow Six
I gotta ask. Did you design the logo?
No.
Do you know what all of us guys are thinking? Right?
Oh yeah.
It looks either like Zelda Tricorn or Blacktron.
Blacktron Triforce, yeah.
That's right. Oh, she's all
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Good deal. So you can't talk about anything else you're doing.
No, I mean I can. I'm a 3D modeler, so I make 3D assets for the game, and that's what I do.
Hey, is that your friend, or is that just somebody pretending to be your friend and checking you out, to make sure you're not spilling the beans?
Yes, that's Simon. Yeah, it's NDA Nathan. He works with me actually, so yeah, he knows what I can and cannot say.
Yeah. So do you have him on speed dial? He's gonna like buzz you or whatever.
Watch it.
All right, good deal. So, all right, it is mock check time since we've kind of put you out there. By the way, do you guys have any questions for him in video games and all that kind of jazz that you can think of?
When's GTA 6 coming out? No, I'm kidding.
PlayStation 10.
There it is. I believe it.
All right, so it is mock check time.
I have a question.
We'd love to see some of the things that you created and show
Matt,
off.
Matt says he has a question, Matthew.
Oh, what's that? Oh,
So-
Matthew, go ahead.
So you showed us a physical 3D model of Lego. How important is that for game builders? I mean, do they value having something that's like that's tangible, that's physical, or they're like, oh, fine, just build it in the digital world? Do they like the physical aspect of prototyping?
So the physical aspect of prototyping was definitely more for me as a designer. We had a Lego workshop where I would prototype a lot of ideas, but even though I had pretty nearly carte blanche to order whatever I wanted for the Lego room when I first started there, you still don't get nearly the right parts in all the colors you need to do whatever you want. And so even that lion blacksmith tent isn't the proper colors for the game. I did the vast majority of my work actually just with LDD, Lego Digital Designer. 7-8 hours a day was just sitting working digitally.
Did they take the files from LDD and just port it in, or how do they do that?
Yeah, so we had some scripts that would convert the LXF file format from LDD into a readable 3D model for our software, but it usually required quite a bit of extra cleanup afterwards because optimizations and stuff, you don't need to render the inside of every brick that you have. So, if you have a wall that's made up of 8 bricks, you just gut it and end up having one plane instead. So a lot of manual work afterwards for texturing and cleanup, which is how I actually learned 3D modeling. Was I ended up doing a lot of cleanup on my own 3D models. It was good. So.
All right, Gil asked, why would they not ask you to build digital to make it easier to port over? So you built it physical. Did you then redo it in digital design?
There were a couple things that I started building physical just as a sketching. That's about it. Most of what I did digitally right from the start.
So I mean, is that kind of is that how it's working now with all the games that Lego they're being made for Lego, or do you have any insight on the games that are being, or can you tell about the games that are being made right now?
So I actually have never even been to the TT Games studio in the UK. So I don't know what kind of Lego resources they have. I know that even the designers for the Lego sets work digitally a lot of times as well. So I mean, it's kind of a hybrid, I'm sure, for both.
Okay, cool deal. All right, it is mock chep time, and you actually there's one mock I know you have that I'm dying to see because it's actually one of my favorite things that you've built. It's the large round one, but we can get to that later.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see some of the stuff you've made. You guys can comment on it. Nathan's one of the guys that I love to copy and just flat out copy.
Right back at you, man.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Mark and I talk about your builds a lot. Probably one of my favorites. And I didn't grab it. I wish I had. Was the rocket you made? So kind of a retro rocket with the 3 fins and everything. Didn't you make that one and then put the instructions online?
Oh yeah. That was I had actually help from Legoholic Tyler to help me develop the instructions for that because I really had no clue what I was doing with graphic design or anything. So. My wife just peeked down and gave me a thumbs up, so I'm like, hi.
Tell your lovely bride I said hello.
Yeah, Chris says hello, Kath. You want to come in and say hi? Come in and say hi.
Oh, not me. I don't want to see me.
She just. This is my wife, Kathy. She just finished teaching. I know my camera's way up there because I'm tall. Yeah. So yeah, it's my wife, Kathy. This is you can't see the rest of the team right now. So anyway. Cool.
Awesome. It's good to see her. You guys are a big encouragement to me, or still are, and everything. But back to that rocket. That rocket is awesome. Uses the kind of the Technic helicopter blades, and you stack those in there, and all that kind of jazz.
That's right.
Super
yeah.
Cool. I mean, mind blowing little way to do that. Make it easy, and it's great. So super great. I may try to find that and link it in the description after we get done because it's an easy build, it's a fun build, and has a lot of wow factor to it. All right, so let's see some stuff you build, and you guys can comment on it, ask questions or whatever.
Okay, we were talking about studs forward stuff. I'm going to share my screen here. Share screen. What's happening?
Thank you, Gil. I appreciate that.
Richard, that's how it works. Always with Blake. All right. So you guys see what's going on there?
There we are. Can you make that full screen on your computer so then we can?
Oops, I just closed it.
Good job, man.
That was
That's all
awesome.
you get. All right, good job.
Woo! All right.
It was great. No excuses. It was a screw up. I was going to try and be like, oh, my mouse and clicking.
You blame it on Zoom. You just blame it on him. Say, hey, he did it. That was there. What'd you do with it?
Yeah.
I click the buttons. Yeah. I mean, when I was going to show you the picture of you and your wife, I hit my face. So that's just the way it goes.
That's how these work. Let's try this again. Screen sharing tips. Do not show these tips again. Sorry, guys. Application window. Share.
There we
Hey,
go.
there we are.
Add to stream. There it is.
All right. So this guy, you might recognize. This was from September a couple of years ago. Very much inspired by a lot of the sci-fi cover for sci-fi books from like the 70s and 80s, and the shipyard books and whatnot. The TTA, Terran Trade Authority type books, and a lot of Mark Stafford stuff really inspired this build as well. What else I got going on here? So a little weird trying to do this without double screen.
You understand? You have grace with us.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm gonna need it.
Well, with Chris.
Yeah.
The rest of you are like, come on, get on with it.
No.
So is this okay still? You see this?
Yep.
Okay, so that's Wilson from a video game Don't Starve that my wife really likes to play. It's a little survival game. She really enjoys that. So I built that for her birthday this year. So that was well appreciated. She can, once things go back to having desks and places where there are other people, she can bring that and put it on her desk. Desks and places where there are other people. I have a lot of video game themed builds, as you're noticing. This is a little tractor from the video games. Whoa, too close. From the video game Satisfactory, like a building machination automation factory building game. It's very fun. And I don't know. I got little things from, yeah. And then, of course, this guy here.
I want to see it.
This is the one. You guys have seen some of these pictures on Flickr. Upgrade.
Well, Julian hasn't. Julian doesn't use Flickr, by the way.
I found him on Instagram. I've already liked all of those pictures. It's fine.
Yeah, well, it was on Instagram too. So
It's all big on
I
Instagram.
don't know if you follow me.
Well,
Yeah, the best thing about Flickr is actually it has a whole lot of pixels. Thank you very much. So we can see what's going
It
on.
has a lot of pixels. Like,
it has a couple of pixels. I noticed.
So here, let's.
Have you got the real thing there?
I do.
Okay.
I have it behind me. I'm gonna have to heft this thing up though, so I got to get back to where I can see what I'm doing.
Let's say it. Let's have the old man grunt, man. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Whoop! Hit the ceiling.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh.
Do we need to hum a waltz while you're doing that? I mean, just
Yeah, I know, right? Blue Danube.
Look at that thing, Moto.
yeah. Hey, Moto.
So does it have its own artificial gravity?
Yes, I'm drawn to it.
Well, how fast does it rotate? Because that's what would impact the gravity.
I'm so much of a geek. I actually figured that out,
Yes.
Yay!
but I don't remember. I think I saved it on my phone. Let me just figure this out. Let me find it for you real quick.
Okay, get your wife to do it. I want both hands on the wheel, man.
Yeah, I got it's okay. Yeah, I'm all right. It's resting on the table in front of me. So there's a website. There's a website called SpinCalc, where you can actually enter the speed of rotation and the rate dimensions of your wheel, and it'll give you the different G forces for the wheel.
I don't know what a toonie is, but Gil said he would give you a dozen of them to hula hoop.
That's funny.
I don't know if I have trouble fitting through the in the spokes there. Yeah, I don't think I have it.
Hey, I know we just know that if you calculated it, that's aces with us.
It's really fast. It ends up being like
Wait. What is? Can you hold that back up real quick? Sorry, I got a legit. That's a legit question.
Now put it back down. Now pick it back up. Put it back
In
down.
the orange section, is that mini fig legs right there?
that is, yep.
Thank God. Yes.
Yeah.
Good job, sir.
Well, you should have entered that in that contest with the minifig legs. Just throw that one in there, and
Yeah, that's what I thought of when I saw that. Yeah. It's I really have been experimenting a lot with my more recent builds, with adding a lot more. Just making sure it's not going to roll over. Yeah, I've been experimenting a lot with a lot of textures, and I've ended up rebuilding and unbuilding and rebuilding and unbuilding over and over again to just get the right kind of stripes and textures and the little grill bricks and everything in there, because you get something like that, it's not going to look that interesting if it's just a big plain white wall all the way around. So yeah. It was a lot of unbuilding and rebuilding for that. So
okay, just a show of hands, and the thing: who would have kind of enjoyed it if the thing had rolled on him and he had to go run after it. I'm just going to go ahead and say that would have been the funniest thing I've ever.
That would have been scary. I don't know if I would have thought that was very funny, but
I'm the guy in our lug that drops things at shows. Like I now have that reputation.
Yeah, but you're not Shannon. Shannon knocked an entire ship of mine over. I mean, I heard it crash and just looked over, and this 100 stud long black spaceship was in tatters. We got it back together, but so he's not allowed near my stuff.
Brian knocked over Tom Atkinson's GBC Ferris wheel.
oh boy.
Ooh.
It was still in the box, but let's just say when it came out of the box, there was a good extra hour of setup on it.
So, question about your comment about the textures, and
Yep.
obviously, I personally don't do any digital building. I'm a purely physical builder, but obviously, you have experience with that digital side. So, for me, I do more modular house type stuff, and there's a whole lot of I'll build the window one way and then I'll build it 3 other ways, and then I go, I like number C better, and that's the one I end up using. Do you do that, or do you try things out digitally and then try them physically?
So I don't really do much digital at all right now. I'm purely physical building. It just doesn't have the same. There's not that same satisfaction of holding something you've built. And so I don't really see a lot of the appeal. Remember that they were building all those tensegrity weird table things a few weeks back, right? Yeah. Chris, you had a bit about the tensegrity build.
Yeah.
And I saw someone had posted one digitally, and I'm like, wait, that totally defeats the purpose of a tensegrity build. You just built a digital gravity defying sculpture. Shame on you.
It was Brick Smith. Don't say anything else. It's okay, buddy. You're fine.
It was a little. I really appreciate some of the builds, but there's a certain artisanship that's missing, I think, from some of it, and I like seeing the IRL builds because there's the engineering challenges are part of what appeals to me about the hobby as well. So
yeah. Speaking of that, Andrew, guy in our club, he actually came up with this tensegrity thing. It's
oh nice,
triple, right?
Yeah,
and it's really sturdy on the top there. So
that's cool.
He's an engineer. He does things really really fun. So yeah, that's cool. I think I know Mark and I had to build in the LDD program. Now everybody gets to use Stud.io or whatever studio.
Yeah.
To do it, but the only time it was difficult to manipulate stuff, but I did find it interesting if I wasn't at the Lego or I'm tired of being at Lego and I had this idea to kind of flesh out in my head, it was easy just to throw that up there and maybe manipulate some bricks or put something built in there and just quickly change colors to see what color would look like. But yeah, but in the digital world, you could have like 80 million bricks on one stud connected to 80 million more bricks, and it's a big fail. It may look good, but it's a big fail and everything. So but I'm with you in general. It's like mash the bricks together, pull them back off, all that kind of stuff, and figure it out. So
my favorite is when I see someone do a gorgeous building and the bricks don't actually come in that color, and I'm like,
yeah, that's what drives me crazy.
Yeah,
it's artwork. It's Lego artwork because it's not possible to build it. So
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's gorgeous, but it's basically artwork.
Yeah.
And I mean, because I'm an artist by trade now, but I'm also working 100% digitally, of course. There is such thing as digital art. I mean,
yes.
So I appreciate that. So as well, it's just there's something about the Lego that I just prefer one way. I actually don't disparage at all the people that build digitally. It just doesn't appeal to me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. Gil wanted to know, Nathan, do you design the support structure first, then the exterior, or design the exterior and figure out what's needed to support it?
So I definitely designed that support structure first, and I have I took a few photos, but I can't find them again, of course, because how do you anticipate? But yeah, I got that structure. We have a round table upstairs that I just brought Technic beams and stuff, and I kept experimenting with different lengths and different structures and different number of sides until I got the structure that I wanted, and I just skinned it from there. So yeah.
Good deal. There was a guy, gosh, I think his name's
Again, we
Bob.
gotta say goodbye. Somebody is tired, and she only wants to put her to bed.
Have a great night.
Have a good night. Bye.
Christmas for a woo.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Super tired.
There you go.
Whoa.
Nice meeting you, Nathan.
Good night.
So in fact, when we started doing this Bricksmith, I said, "Hey, there's a guy. He was in Florida. He was at Brick Fair Illinois." I was like, "Oh, was it the guy that went woo a lot?" So I'm like, "Yep, that's the guy." So,
That's the guy.
but there was a guy that built a space station similar to that. Is Bob? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Mark probably remembers.
Bob Hayes.
Bob
Okay.
Hayes. Yeah.
You know, I
He had
came
the
across
best-
his stuff I came across his stuff in some of my research, yeah, it wasn't until I'd already kind of established the structure that I came across some of his stuff, and I was just like amazed at how similar the actual dimensions of the structure ended up being. But I guess it's because Lego lends itself to those exact dimensions most naturally, that we both ended up coming with similar solutions to a problem.
I
Yeah.
have a question.
Go ahead.
So you're a digital artist, and obviously you're a Lego artist. One of my things that I've been consciously trying to get better at in the last year is color. I bought a few books on color theory, which is really more for painters. But how much do you think about color when you're composing?
Oh, so I think the easiest thing about this build that I did for the part challenge was I decided to go with an established color scheme, which made me it's so I didn't have to think about it, right? Like this has been done. It's a tried and true, but I think about color a ton when I build something new and original. And I used to have, before I moved, just stacks of bricks in different color schemes with bricks in different order. And I would do 4 different shades of blue with a lime green and a white stripe. And I would do all this kind of stuff. I really like playing with color. And so I'm always happy to see new colors come out in Lego and try and figure out how I can leverage those.
Yeah, it's always nice to get a new color, but then you're like, you start to build with it. You're like, well, I don't have enough of those pieces, or they don't make those in certain colors yet, and so that's difficult sometimes.
This is my favorite Lego color right now. Is the orangey yellow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I call it Wall-E.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Wall-E orange.
I call it school bus orange, but
Yeah.
No, I agree. I love that color too. It looks really good with new dark gray, and even with dark blue, it's just really good color.
Yep.
Welcome to the chat, Fazoom Jr.
Hey,
Junior.
That is my kiddo. He must have got done with what he was doing. Remember that? Paul Hansen, and he's an old school playable build guy. Bob Hayes reminds me of. Yeah, I remember that guy. Was he the one that came with a Toon Hound, whatever that was, the Recon spaceship back in those days? Was that him, Gil? I don't remember. That was an amazing ship there back in the day. All right.
Oh, I found, by the way,
Yeah?
I found the measurements for my station.
I knew you would. I knew you'd do it.
So it's a 10 kilometers radius. So it's about 20 kilometers. Can I switch that to miles for you guys?
Please do. We're all Americans. Thank you very much.
So 6.2 miles radius gives you a centripetal acceleration, which is gravity on the rim of 1 g, and so the spin The speed of the rim is 313 meters per second. Let me go miles per hour. 700 miles per hour on the rim.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
saying in the movies when we see the big thing rotating really slowly, that is not actually going to work.
It would at 12 miles across. That's still how it would look. That's probably accurate. Actually, I actually think it is because it's 0.3 rotations per minute, which means that it would take over 3 minutes to make a full rotation of that station. But it would be going 700 miles an hour on the rim.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I really nerded out with that one. It was fun.
Oh yeah, that's right. Gil said that was the guy I was talking about. Was Todd Trotter. The modular. Did the modular background ship? Is that the one that that used the big windscreen from like the Bractron base on the sideways? I think that's the yeah. I'm doing the thing. I think that's the guy. Yeah, that's old school, man. Some of those old builders from back in the Lugnet days, they just kind of faded out and everything. Didn't stick around, but some of us did and everything. So, yeah. All right. Hey, can I show you something I built today? I got to show this before we go today. No. All right. Well,
I'm just gonna.
Oh wow, it's just gonna be that way about it.
fine.
I'm
I
cheap.
built the top of the Blacktron tower I'm building. So. This is the tip top of the tower. There it is right there. See?
Do they make those panels in yellow?
These?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They make them. They make them in yellow. I think so. Yeah, those flags and everything.
Yeah, the flags. Yeah.
But I wanted to have that little glowy. I think I'm gonna put a light on it or something like that to make it glow.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is in fact the AT&T building.
Yeah.
From Nashville. That's exactly right. But that's from the doodle that's on here. So
Oh yeah, nice.
I put it to doodle and everything. So
Yeah, for people who are not familiar, Nashville, Tennessee has an actual real building that the top of it looks like that.
yeah.
And, for a very long time, people in Nashville have called it the Bat Building because it kind of looks like Batman's head.
Does it have an Eye of Sauron in between the two?
Yeah.
Another fellow Canadian making fun of us Americans and our imperial.
This is after the comment about toonies. I don't know if we.
Yeah, what is a toonie, by the way?
A $2 coin,
And then there's the loony.
which is a $1 coin with a loon on it.
So I'm from Michigan, so I grew up close enough to the border, and I was a huge hockey fan, so I know some of these things. But
There you go.
All I know
I
is
have-
what you guys talk about Canadian and Strange Brew. That's all I know. So,
Well, you want to get real Canadian? I actually live in French Canada, so I mean, there's a lot of. It gets even deeper once you get here.
I love it.
You say you're over in Saskatchewan? Isn't that where the Trailer Park Boys are from?
Oh, so I don't know.
Okay, that's
Oh, no.
Canadian being nice. All right, cool.
gentlemen, I've been told dinner is ready, and for the sake of domestic harmony, I'm gonna have to duck out here. So, but
All
it's been
right.
a lot of fun.
I got a feeling Fazoom Jr. will say, "Hey, Dad, I'm hungry." So in the chat here, it says, good to see you, man. We're about to log out ourselves, but anyway, good to see you, man. All right, guys. So thank y'all for coming tonight. We're going to check out here and everything. Oh, what you got, Mark?
Kevin
Oh,
Hinkle.
hey, we didn't hinkle up, man.
Oh,
Man.
Kevin Hinkle.
all right, there's a good.
Hinkle.
Kevin
Oh,
Hinkle. Someone mentioned him in the chat earlier, and you guys were busy talking. I didn't want to interrupt then, but this is our official Kevin Hinkle moment right now.
Yeah, nice.
By the way, real quick, there is a thing going on TikTok where a fellow AFOL said, Hinkle check, and then you do a video. So,
Oh, good one.
Wow. Jeepers.
yeah, but
Hey, Dad, I'm hungry.
what did he say? It? I didn't see it.
Yeah, he says in the chat.
Hi, hungry. I'm Dad.
I'm hungry. I'm
Hi,
Dad.
hungry, I'm
Right. I can actually.
it's the Pink Bucket Nation pink Sparks head.
Nice.
There you go.
Oh,
Limited edition.
That's it. There's only 2. Actually, I don't know.
There it is. Perfect.
So next week on the chat, we're going to talk about whether or not Lego is actually marketing more to adults, or they're just trying to drag more adults back in, and a little bit of ideas fatigue and some other stuff we talked about in kind of show prep. We're going to talk about that a little bit and in the chat next week. Nathan, you're always welcome to join us, and when you can. And
This has been fun.
Brick Smith, I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. All right, so geek out, everybody. Do something creative. Be nice to somebody. We'll talk to you guys later next week, Thursdays at 7 Eastern. Is that metric or imperial? I don't know. But anyway, all right. See you guys. Have a good night.
All right. Good night.